Welcome to Spiritual Truths with your host Kerry-Marie. Today I'm delighted to have with me Jackie Kraft. Jackie is a nutritionist and she has a wealth of knowledge about nutrition and how it can help you optimize your health so you can have a happier, healthier life. If you like this podcast, please like and subscribe. Thank you so much for being part of the Spiritual Truths family. Have a great day. Blessings and love, Kerry-Marie. Hi there. Just before we head into the podcast, I'd just like to give you a quick reminder about my up-and-coming tour, Bridging the Two Worlds 2026. In order for you to receive a discount, you need to get an early bird ticket, and early bird tickets are available until the 30th of November. So head to Event Finder, otherwise go to the link below. I look forward to seeing you there. Blessings and love, Kerry-Marie. Hi, Jackie.
Hi, Kerry-Marie. How are you?
It's good to catch up again.
I'm so excited to be here today. I really am.
Yeah, you've been to Bali as well.
I have. I had a lovely break. Sabbatical, really, for me. I go to Bali and I do yoga and meditation and travel around and eat great food and
wonderful.
have a wonderful time.
Well, okay, so we're here to talk about nutrition and about optimizing your health and your well-being and all those sort of wonderful topics, which is quite topical these days, actually.
It is. People are always interested in, sadly, because a lot of them are actually coming up with more and more health issues as we age, and not even just as we age. And they're starting to realise that we need to empower ourselves with our decisions about what we're eating, because our primary healthcare system is so overwhelmed.
It is.
That it really comes back to ourselves and bringing it upon ourselves to really take control and more responsibility for what we eat and the power of food. Food is medicine.
Yeah, it's amazing. How I met you, which is really quite interesting. There was a gentleman, one of our staff, lovely guy, and he had quite a health issue and he took a lot of responsibility, and he sought you out. And I just sat back and observed him, and he just very quiet. He's really great at his work, and he just quietly got on with it. And he took responsibility, and he just sort of lost weight. And I remember talking to him about cholesterol at one point, because I always thought my cholesterol was fine. And he said, "Oh, my cholesterol is better than yours." And he told me his cholesterol, and I thought, wow, that's amazing. And I just observed it for about a year. I think he was after he saw you. He just said nutritionist, and then I was thinking about it myself about seeing a nutritionist, because I think I got a little bit confused. So I'd been to a nutritionist before and I felt great going to her, and then I sort of got really carb confused. And at that point, a lot of people really like this keto lifestyle, and I wasn't doing keto, but I was fascinated with it. I got very, very carb confused, and I felt that I got quite lost. At the same time, it's all about timing and synchronicity. My husband really decided he really wants to get off statins, and he wants to get his cholesterol down, so the timing just fell into place. And I just happened I said, "John, I want to see a nutritionist again. I'm off track. I'm confused. I'm carb confused. I want to help you." I walked into a lunchroom, and there was this gentleman eating the most beautiful, yummy looking lunch. It was colourful. It was beautiful. It looked nutritionist. I thought, oh my goodness, your lunch just looks amazing. It's like, oh my, because always loved healthy food. He said, "Oh, that's my nutritionist." He said, "I'll put you on to her if you like." And I thought about it, because, you two are going to get on really well. I just know you're just going to really click. You're going to go really well. So then I got hold of you, and I've referred you to a few people now.
Yes, you have. Thank you, Kerry-Marie.
You're welcome. And I haven't looked back, to be honest. So I feel a lot more educated. I'm no longer carb confused. It was actually challenging at first because I was sort of steering clear of carbs, and I had to really trust the information you were giving me. And I realized it was more about grains and whole foods. It wasn't about carbohydrates. It was about whole foods and grains. And then John was really wanted to go along. He's embraced it as well, and he won't mind me staying. He's sort of lost some kgs, and both our blood pressures have gone down. I used to be a nurse. I've taken our blood pressures. I've been to had a general checkup recently, and my cholesterol's gone down lower. My blood tests are perfect, right smack on. My BP's great. Everything is, my health hasn't been better, and I feel I've got a lot more energy as well. And
Yeah.
I feel, rather than restricting my choices, I feel I'm more open, and
Yes.
I got a much better understanding about choices and taking responsibility.
Yeah.
So I just really wanted to share, because you've really helped me, and John, you helped someone at work. I know what you've information you give is true and real. So I just want to share, because I believe in mind, body, soul, and I feel if you look after your physical body, our body's your temple. It's really important.
Yeah.
So if you can just tell me a little bit about your background, if it's okay.
So when I left school, I trained as a medical laboratory technologist and specialised in biochemistry. So working in the hospital, I understood how the hospital system works, as well as being able to look at people's blood tests and understand
Yeah.
the significance of blood tests. And because you can look healthy on the outside,
Yes.
but without doing the blood tests, the biomarkers, you don't know what's really going on the inside. There's
Oh,
plenty of
interesting.
athletes, you've seen and hear quite often how shocking it is that a top athlete suddenly had a massive heart attack. So yeah, you can look super fit and super healthy, but have very high cholesterol on the inside. So,
Right. Yes.
and yeah,
Yeah.
that was that. So I got into that. I then actually went on to be a medical rep. So I've worked in pharmaceutical companies, seeing the doctors. After that, I then went into selling medical equipment in hospitals. So I got to be able to go into hospitals, into theatre, and work with doctors and show them how to use the medical equipment. So I have a very good understanding of our healthcare system, I feel.
Yes.
I always had a interest in nutrition after members of my family had cancer. My mother had breast cancer at 37 years old, which was very young. I was only 11. And she completely changed her diet. So we had that traditional New Zealand diet at that stage, really high in meat and high fat foods, the roast potatoes. Yeah, we had all the vegetables and things, but also just too much in terms of the heavy meat laden meals,
Yes.
because that was seen as affluent from our
Yes.
generation, parents' generation, coming from post-war. That really meat heavy laden. And my mother actually went raw vegan and for 2 years and never got breast cancer, never had a recurrence of cancer, which was pretty amazing, staggering in those days.
Right.
And I saw such a profound change in her well-being overall. She lost weight, she became more confident, she loved the food she was eating. So I'd always had this bit of an interest in nutrition, the power of food. And then not long ago, I decided to formally put my nutrition training, because what I thought was healthy eating, which is like all of us, I suddenly got to a point, I think when I was about 50, I realised that the way I was eating was actually not healthy. And when I dived into the science, I watched a movie called Forks Over Knives, a documentary called Forks Over Knives, and that was really life-changing, and it is for a lot of people. So I highly recommend that documentary, Forks Over Knives, if you have any
I haven't watched it.
medical issues. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. So yeah, that's got my then formalised my nutrition training as a nutritionist. So I've got a lot of in-depth behind me there.
So why was that Forks Over Knives so good?
It's really powerful because when you watch it, you see the science and you
Yeah.
go, yep, that all makes sense.
Right.
Because I need to have evidence-based science.
Yes.
I've come from a very science background, so I want evidence-based information, not what somebody tells me on social media, or, my best friend or my auntie or any well-meaning person.
I love that. Same with what I do.
Yeah.
So I like to have evidence. Anybody can tell you anything, but unless there's some evidence, I love the evidence. It must be our science background because I used to be a nurse.
Yes.
So it's the same thing. Yeah. And there's also the other one I love listening to is at Zoe's Nutrition and Science. Oh, that's fantastic. Zoe podcast.
Professor Tim Spector.
Yeah, it's amazing.
And he can, and that's the thing, the interesting thing. So many doctors now, they going and getting extra education on nutrition because they realise they've been frustrated either with their own health journey or they've had to find a way out of it, or they see that what they're doing for their patients is putting a Band-Aid over the problem. Like if you've got somebody with type 2 diabetes, they don't have the nutrition training to actually be able to advise them on how to, you can actually reverse type 2 diabetes. 80% of people, it's a lifestyle disease.
Yes.
And it's growing so rapidly. It's epidemic proportions, and the cost of it is so much on the burden on our economy, on our medical system. So just having the understanding that these specialists can now help people prevent and even reverse these diseases like heart disease and stroke, type 2 diabetes, different types of cancers. It's really important.
Oh, that's very empowering. It's all about knowledge, isn't it?
It's all about knowledge.
Yeah, and embracing it. That's interesting. It's really interesting.
And Tim Spector, he comes from the angle of Professor Tim Spector from King's College in England. They come from this perspective of the gut microbiome and how important our gut health is. And gut health is a relatively new science. And what people don't realise is that our gut health, so these bacteria, we have these 39 trillion bacteria in our gut, and we want them to be the healthy type of microbes, that these bacteria, they affect everything in our life, our sleep, our mood, our immunity, our digestion, the impacts flow on our hormone balance, our weight, and mental health and brain health. So these things are super, super, super important, and that's the foundation of health. And that's one of the things that I really focus on, teaching people on how to do that. But we do it through nutrition guidelines, the most latest evidence-based nutrition guidelines as well, which understands that science now and then puts it into easy guidelines on how to structure meals.
So what is those guidelines?
So those guidelines, I use the Canadian Nutrition Guidelines. The reason I use the Canadian Nutrition Guidelines is they're some of the most advanced in the world. They culturally are very, very similar to us. Their nutrition guidelines, they won't allow any industry interference. And I just don't think people realise the power that food companies have and pharmaceutical companies and farming different companies all have on the decisions that governments make. So Canadian Health refused to allow any interference from any industry. So it's just purely on the experts in the science. And that is half of your plate is fruit or vegetables. A quarter of your plate is a lean protein source, and they recommend that you include more fibre-rich beans, lentils, tofu, legumes, now than animal protein. And there's lots of science behind that. And one of the main reasons is that our healthy gut microbiome need fibre. And there's no fibre found in any animal foods. It's found in all these plant foods. So that's why nutrition guidelines are getting people to bring more of these legumes, beans and lentils into our everyday life. And then the last quarter of our plate is now, you were talking about carbs. They don't use the word really carbs anymore.
No.
Terminology's changed. So it's more we're talking about refined carbohydrates, which definitely are some of the unhealthiest foods in the world. And then we're talking about a whole grain versus this refined grain. So a whole grain is incredibly healthy for us. The benefits, people don't realize it's high in fiber, it's healthy fats, it gives us energy. The other confusion is I have so many clients who are thinking they're getting the energy from protein and they need to have more and more and more protein. And they don't understand that there's amazing food group of whole grains, which is, when you think about it, they're really peasant foods.
Yes.
When you look at the traditional cultures, they all have a predominant grain, multiple different grains in their food traditions. So the Asians, can be black rice, white rice, brown basmati rice, brown rice, red rice, different rices. Corn is actually a whole grain. So you've got the Americas, that corn and beans and rice. And the Europeans, they use a lot of different whole grains, obviously beautiful barley and wheat and rye. So when you start learning about these traditional cultures and the 5 longest living centenarian groups in the world, the blue zones.
Yes.
You look at they all eat differently. Every group is unique. However, they have in common that 90% of their food is mainly from plant-based sources, and that is, we're talking about legumes, the beans, the whole grains, the fruits, the vegetables, the herbs, the spices, and your nuts and seeds.
So the whole grains you're talking about different rices, and you're talking about pastas and
Your oats,
wholemeal bread, oats here.
Yeah, so let's put it into everyday foods. I do my for my clients, you well know, I have my Jackie's breakfast bowl that I created a specific recipe around. And the whole grains in there, I've got rolled oats and I've got buckwheat, which both have a different profile of B nutrients.
Right.
So B vitamins.
Wow.
People just don't realize when they're giving up their carbs, what they're missing out on is just a whole really important array of vitamins, minerals, and B vitamins, as well as each different type of food has different types of fibers.
Right.
And these fibers feed these good, healthy bacteria in our gut, which then go on to promote metabolites and trigger hormones for satisfaction and so one of the things that people will be totally unaware is these whole grains and beans, when we eat them, our microbiome produces a hormone called GLP-1. GLP-1 is a hormone that makes us feel full and satisfied after eating.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And that is what the weight loss drugs are using now. They're based on the GLP-1. However, they're not using the ideal amount, which is what you find in your real foods when you're eating just real foods.
There's a couple of things come to me talking. One is you mentioned white rice. So I always said to keep away from white rice. What's your thoughts about white rice?
Yeah, I actually mentioned white rice there by accident. Look, like if you're going out for dinner and you're going to a beautiful Thai restaurant, white rice, fine, eat it. At home, your preference is that you would be using a brown rice, a red rice, a black rice. Yeah.
So but white rice has got some grains in it, hasn't it?
It is a grain.
Fiber,
so it's the brown starts off as your brown rice, and then they take the outer husk off, which is your fiber.
Yeah.
And they take the germ out, which is all the nutrients in the middle with your healthy fats, your omega-3 fats, so important. And just leave you with the white portion. So we definitely prefer to be going the whole grains, the brown
much
rice,
as you can.
red rice. Yeah,
I've taken advice and gone to Thai, and I'm going to a vegan one tonight in Milford, and it's got all the different coloured rices.
Cuckoo,
yeah.
Cuckoo's amazing. Yeah.
So I love it.
Love it.
Really love it. One thing I've really noticed that John mentioned today, and I've been really noticing it, and the gentleman at work noticed it as well. I've always loved fruit, loved it, but I've found since I've been eating this new healthy lifestyle, I just enjoy fruit so much more. And so has John just said today, I just love fruit more, and so does a gentleman at work. Why is that? Somehow I've always enjoyed it, but I just crave it.
I think maybe it's because they've I take the guilt factor out of that. So many people just tell you, oh, you can't eat too much fruit, or you can't even eat fruit because it's got sugar in it. Fruit has fiber, it's full of fiber and water. So when you're eating fruit, these sugars are they're released into the bloodstream slowly. But the other amazing thing about fruit is it's full of all the essential vitamins and minerals and the special group of chemicals only found in plant foods called phytonutrients.
Right.
Phyto meaning plant, nutrients. So these phytonutrients, and then we've got these special chemical groups. What's the ones called polyphenols? People may have heard of these polyphenols. We know that they're particularly beneficial for health, for every element of our health, and that's what gives fruit all that beautiful colour and taste and texture. So please don't be afraid of your fruit.
I love it. So what's about the
good for
polyphenols
you.
that's so good for your health?
Look, I don't know the science behind it. The antioxidants.
Right, antioxidants.
I
Yeah.
can't go into the biochemistry side of it for you.
Right.
But generally speaking, these polyphenols are really high in many beneficial things. So, let's take one group that you may have heard of, cruciferous vegetables. So cruciferous vegetables are your broccoli, your Brussels sprouts, bok choy, cauliflower. Those vegetables are cruciferous, and we do know that they have a polyphenol, they have a phytonutrient called sulforaphane.
Right.
And this sulforaphane we know is really beneficial for preventing cancer and helping with cancer. So, and it works on your liver. So you have, look, there's hundreds and hundreds and thousands of these phytonutrients, but because they're really small in quantities in foods, that when they're studied, it's quite hard to study these foods. And also, pharmaceutical companies, they're not making any money out of telling you that broccoli and cauliflower is really good for you to eat to help prevent cancer. So there's not a lot of money put into studying these types of foods.
It's a shame.
Yeah, but one of the most important things, and Zoe, they reiterate this about your gut microbiome. One of the healthiest things you can do is eat the rainbow of colours, eat variety of colours, and eat as many different plant foods. So they recommend 30 different plant foods in a week.
Yeah.
And my clients all kind of blink and freak out when I tell them that, and I give them, when they work with me, I take them in the kitchen and we do practical. I show them how to prepare breakfast and lunches so that you've got easy foods ready on the go for a whole week.
Yeah.
And so you can just go to your fridge and go, here's for lunch. I pull this container out. It's got my bean salad. It's got my coleslaw. It's got my cooked grains. So I'm showing people how you're going to be you get 30 different plant foods
Easily.
a day.
Yeah.
Not even just a week.
Wow.
So, and look, it's really simple to do. I advise my clients, when you go shopping, and it's really important that we just be able to go shopping to the supermarket. When you go shopping, you buy the cheapest fruit and vegetables in season. If you're buying the cheapest fruit and vegetables, they're in season.
Yes.
They're freshest, their turnover is very high. And so you naturally then work through the seasons and getting of this variety of different plant foods. So, for instance, at the moment, we can see that we're, for people who don't realise, we're actually just in spring. So, we've still got broccoli and cauliflower's great price, leeks, amazing, mushrooms. And our fruits, we've sort of still got our kiwi fruits at the end of apples, but we'll be coming into summer fruits later on in summer. So if you just are buying the cheapest fruits, you'll get all of that variety all the time.
Well, nature knows as well. I sort of look at, I always think about, we've got these beautiful orange trees and mandarin trees, and they start coming out just before it starts to get cold, just going into winter. So your body's naturally protecting you with vitamin C.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. And it's we're so reductionist in our and thinking about food now. We kind of think, oh, a kiwi fruit, vitamin C. But what we forget is that the kiwi fruit, we want to take a vitamin C tablet, or do we want to eat the kiwi fruit? In a vitamin C tablet, you're just getting one type of vitamin C.
Yes.
In the kiwi fruit, you're getting fibre, which
Yes.
is absolutely essential, and everyone should be getting minimum 30 grams at least plus of fibre a day. 95% of people are not getting that at all because there's no protein in animal foods, and we've just focused very much on our, eggs for breakfast and our, a sandwich with ham and cheese for lunch. And then dinner is meat with a couple of token vegetables. So it's really important that people are getting this fibre. And when you eat that kiwi fruit, you're not only getting vitamin C, you're also getting all these phytonutrients, these antioxidants, which help fight inflammation. They're antifungal, they're anti-cancer, they're antibacterial, all these different foods. These phytonutrients have these different properties to them, as well as in a kiwi fruit you've got very high in fibre, you've got very high in vitamin A, vitamin E, so and as well as a lot of vitamins and minerals. So eating the whole food is definitely the best way to get any vitamin or mineral.
Yeah, so I'm just going to circle back to something you mentioned, because I've actually, a couple of people I know have had like irritable bowel syndrome and stuff like that, and they have to steer away from beans and lentils. I've heard that. So what do you suggest around that situation?
Okay, so this is really counterintuitive. People are not going to want to hear this. What happens is when we eat these foods, because we've got a gut dysbiosis,
Right.
a problem with our gut,
Dysbiosis, what does that mean?
dysbiosis imbalance.
Right, okay.
So that's an imbalance of the bacteria in our gut.
Yeah.
And there's multiple reasons why that can happen. Sometimes people understand that as they've heard it called leaky gut. It's not the medical terminology for it. So what happens is they get little gaps in the lining of their gut between the cells, and particles, food particles this is a simplistic explanation. Little food particles, particularly proteins, are passing through from their gut, your digestive tract, directly into your bloodstream, because there's only one cell between your gut and your bloodstream. Okay. So it's very sensitive, and that's where most of your immunity is, because if you've got viruses, bacteria and things invading and they're coming through the gut wall, you want your immune system to be there to attack it. So what happens is you get little food particles that are passing into your bloodstream, and they're not broken down like they should be. So for protein, they're not broken down into single amino acids. Your immune system suddenly thinks it's got a foreign invader, like a protein, like a virus or a bacteria, and it starts attacking it, and you end up with inflammation and issues there. So unfortunately, when these people eat these different foods, and there's many type of foods that can trigger different people, then they can get a really bad gut reaction. And what you need to do is heal the gut, the cells in the gut. And how do we do that? We do it by bringing fibre into our foods, because we need fibre to have healthy cells. We need to have fibre to have healthy bacteria. And fibre is found in plant foods. So it's a very slow process. What we do is we slowly build up the fibre-rich foods, the plant foods, back up, and then you get to a point in time where you can start introducing or reintroducing some of these foods, and your gut will have hopefully healed those links between cells. They're called tight junctions, and you'll find that you can suddenly eat things that you never used to be able to eat, like you, Kerry-Marie.
I know, because I've got a problem with broccoli.
Yes.
and I like, because people think I don't like it.
Yeah.
I love the taste of broccoli. I had
Yeah.
some the other day and I thought this is yummy, and I know how good it is for you. I've just always said no broccoli, no broccoli. And so you suggested to me, look, you need to do this for a while, and I think you need to slowly introduce it. So once again, I had to trust you, and so I started doing that. And so I had some broccoli the other day, I was fine. Other times I've overdone it, I've had a bit of reaction. So what I've decided to do, just little bit by little bit,
Yes.
introduce it just a tiny bit at a time, like
Low and slow.
low and slow,
It's
patience.
no different than anyone going to the gym.
Yeah.
If you haven't been to the gym for years, or you're new to a gym, if you walked into a gym and you did a really hard, heavy session, you're either going to injure yourself
Yes.
or you're going to be so sore for the next few days that you're not want to go back and do it again.
Yeah.
So it's so important, and this is where the gastroenterologist, if anyone's interested, Dr. Will Bolsowitz is Dr. B, the gut health doctor. He has fantastic books on the gut microbiome and how to bring these foods back in. And there's also another specialist in the UK. I've forgotten his name right now, but he's fantastic. Alan Desmond, Dr. Alan Desmond, and they are gastroenterologists, work in the health field, specialists in their field, and they will give you great advice about how to reintroduce these foods and strengthen your microbiome. So
It's really good advice, because there's a few people that do have like irritable bowel syndrome.
Yeah.
And someone spoke to me the other day, they can't even eat fruit. They get
Yeah.
and it's sad. They can't even have one strawberry, and I think there's something going on
That's
there.
FODMAPs. So FODMAPs is another group of food groups. They're basically fermentable sugars that cause issues for people. So, and different food groups can affect different people. Most people who have gut issues might find that it might be onions or garlic.
Right, yeah.
Or alcohol. The groups in alcohol can be another one.
That's what FODMAP is. FODMAP means groups.
FODMAP stands for stands for fermentable. It's very long words.
Right, okay,
If you want to look it up, you can look it up. FODMAPs.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm not going to be able to bring them all up right now.
It's okay.
And but these FODMAPs, the FODMAP diet was designed for people to eliminate these different food groups initially to be able to strengthen their microbiome.
I
so
see.
you eliminate them from your diet, and then you strengthen your gut microbiome,
I see, yeah.
and then you reintroduce them, but it's small amounts, and your microbes will slowly build up that tolerance and that strength to them again, so you can start eating. FODMAP diet was always designed to be a temporary thing.
Right, I get you.
Unfortunately, there are people who have said, okay, I can't have FODMAPs. They've completely eliminated all those food groups.
Yeah.
Then they've tried another different food group, beans, and then they've gone, oh, I can't eat beans anymore.
Yeah.
They eliminate that. And still they get such a small number of foods that they can actually eat and tolerate. And those foods, they're not giving them all the essential nutrients and vitamins, and their gut just gets unhealthier and healthier. And like we said, the foundation for health is your gut. And so you get this inflammatory response, which doesn't necessarily just look like things like rheumatoid arthritis and that sort of thing. It also can manifest in your blood vessels, so it's heart disease and then on different types of diseases that we all know that are common.
Like cancers as well?
I'm not going. Cancers is a really kind of tricky area,
Right.
because there's different types of cancers that. We know that, for instance, that the increasing rate of colon cancer has a lot to do, and a lot of younger people getting it is related to the fact that now we're getting so many more ultra processed foods.
Right, yeah.
And as well, not as much fibre. So when people are eating takeaways, or they're eating a majority of foods people buying in the supermarket, 60% of them are ultra processed foods. And the things we don't least suspect, even our fruit flavoured yogurts, or things that we assume are healthy foods, So that's one of the things that Zoe and Professor Tim Spector, they have some great resources on ultra-processed foods, and I teach people how to read food labels. So you can easily distinguish between what is an ultra-processed food and what is a real food.
I've got good at that.
Yeah. We all
So just to summarise that with food intolerances, what the best have got to maybe look at some resources, some people to help them through it, get some research. I'm hearing, and then you heal your gut, and then you slowly introduce these foods.
Yeah.
Which is what I've been doing, and it's actually working.
Yeah.
Because so I'm really pleased, and I like the taste of broccoli. It's like I'm enjoying it. So slowly by slowly, I'm doing that rather than forcing it down.
I'm the same. You know,
Yeah.
I never used to be able to eat things like green capsicums or cucumber. Or, they always repeated on me, but now I can eat whatever I want and have no issues whatsoever.
And then someone was talking to me about these nightingales as well. They're talking to me about the what are they called? The ones that like potatoes and. What are they called? What are they called?
Nightshades.
Nightshades, not nightingales.
Nightingales. Oh, where are we going on this? That sounded like an angel.
Typical from nightshades, deadly nightshades. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, so telling me to avoid those as well. And I spoke to you about that, and you said, well, that's not right.
No. Yep. No.
It's just someone's idea.
Look, nutrition is such a polarizing subject.
I know.
And I think the best thing to do is actually to, you don't have to be convinced by what I'm telling you. Go into published medical articles. It's free for everyone. It's a website. You put in the information. You want to look at reviews and meta-analysis because they look at all the studies that have been done on it. And they eliminate studies that are not good. And they give you the overwhelming evidence at the time. It's always going to be changing. So I think it's really important that we also be discerning about what we believe and what we don't believe. Do your own homework, and I certainly don't have time to be a specialist in an area like metabolic health. So I go to the specialists and I rely on people like Dr. Will Bolsowitz or a cardiologist, a top cardiologist, Dr. Kim Williams. So those people, I trust what their advice is, and they will always give you the evidence behind it. So they will show you all the supporting evidence that you can refer to, and that's what nutrition guidelines are based on now. When you look at when I looked at the Canada Health Nutrition Guidelines, they had like 50 pages of different studies that gave the overwhelming convincing science behind why we should be eating more beans in our diet, why we should be focusing on getting less saturated fat from animal products and focusing on getting more of the healthy fats that are found in plant foods, especially omega-3. That's one of the things that I've quite changed my view on in the last few years in the science, the overwhelming science that we should be getting more omega-3 rich foods and cutting back on these saturated fats, which we know are associated with higher risk of cardiovascular disease, so your heart attack, your strokes, even your type 2 diabetes.
It's interesting. So I'm just going to delve into this a bit. So I'm just going to go back to diabetes, remind me about fats, but I want to go into the cholesterol. Because one of the things that with the guy at work is that his cholesterol dropped.
Oh, and it's amazing.
So different people you pointed out something about cholesterol. Some people say high cholesterol is fine, and you explained that to me nicely about where were these studies done and everything. That was really interesting. So how do you help with lowering the cholesterol? Because my cholesterol's gone down. I know this guy at work John's going to get a blood test. Our blood pressures have gone down, which is great. So what is about the cholesterol these
Yeah,
foods help with?
cholesterol is a fantastic. So many people with elevated cholesterols now, and people are resisting wanting to go on the statin drugs because they can experience tiredness and sore muscles, and not pleasant. So people want to avoid that. And we do know that high cholesterol is associated with higher risk of cardiovascular disease, stroke, right? And it's really, really important we don't want to have a stroke or have a heart
No,
attack.
no.
Now, and cholesterol comes down so quickly, Kerry-Marie. It's one of the things that I love working with my clients because it comes down. And why? It's so simple. If you want to lower your cholesterol, you simply bring the fiber-rich foods into your life, especially beans and whole grains.
Wow.
Okay, and there's overwhelming evidence and studies that these food groups, the legumes, which is the fancy word for beans, and I'm talking about, like you buying a can of beans from the supermarket. You can get a can of beans, not the baked beans full of sugar and full of salt, but buying a can of, mixed beans to make a bean salad, or chickpeas to just form into some sort of patty for
Yeah.
your favorite hamburger or meal that you want to make. So it's just so simple to be able to bring these beans into your life, your legumes, as well as the whole grains. Like my clients says, if you want to lose weight, if you want to lower your cholesterol and feel healthier, you need to increase your fiber. And we're doing that hand in hand with eating these foods full of these nutrient dense foods that are going to the quickest things to lower our cholesterol. And the reason why our blood pressures come down is because we suddenly, I have so many people take magnesium for relaxing, for sleep and all those things. If you just eat your vegetables, you are getting way over your magnesium requirements. Magnesium's in all your beans and even your whole grains and your leafy vegetables.
Wow.
So it's just so easy. You don't need to think about it. That's the beautiful thing. If you're creating, and I that's one of the things I teach my clients is how to structure a meal with this half a plate's fruit or vegetables,
Yeah.
quarter of a plate's your whole grain. Don't forget, your quarter of a plate's your protein.
Yeah.
When you do that, you don't need to be thinking about, am I getting this vitamin or this mineral and because, the supplement industry is a huge industry. They make a heck of a lot of money. You're much better off getting it from your whole food.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Whole food as well is really critical.
Yeah.
We're not talking about getting fruit juices. We want the whole food
Yes.
with all fiber intact.
Yeah, that's really important. So rolled oats is really good for that too, isn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah. And there are specific foods.
Yeah.
So and that person you're talking about at work, him and his wife did it as a team, and I really encourage people to when they come to me, they can come and see me for my program, and they can do it as two people for the same price.
Yeah.
So it's an absolute bargain. And I encourage that because we know that when you do it with somebody else, you're going to have more fun.
Yes.
You're going to be more interested in going and experiment, and you've got support. You're more likely to succeed. And we want to create a lifestyle that's enjoyable for everyone.
Yeah. Eating out could be a problem though, can't it? It can be a challenge eating out or going away travelling. That's the other thing. Yeah.
Look, going away travelling can be difficult, but I think eating out now, it's amazing how many options that you can get.
Yes.
And that's one of the things I teach my clients as well, how to choose.
Yes.
Looking at entrees instead of getting a main. When you look at entrees, you often get some really healthy entrees that you can share and mix.
Yes.
Or be mindful, you really want to have a pizza.
Yeah.
You want to have some of that. It was still great. Get the pizza, share it between the two of you.
Yeah.
Get a pizza that's loaded with not just a full-on cheesy, meaty pizza. That's not. If you talk to any Italian, they're not going to tell you that's a pizza anyhow.
Yeah.
And that has some vegetables with it, and then have the big salad with it.
Yeah.
And another dish with it maybe, so that you're sharing the whole meal and you're getting balance, and you're loving the flavors and the taste.
Yes, I'm quite choosy when I go now, but and I said
Yeah.
I want to have the dressing, or have olive oil on the side, or something
Yes.
like that.
Yeah. And, having
Yeah.
I've worked in the tourism industry, hospitality industry for a long time. I can tell you should feel quite confident about going and requesting sauces on the side, or, I want some, even asking your server, look, I really like healthy food. I don't want something that's really high in saturated fat. What are your options? And they will actually recommend foods that people report back are really favourites, or even ask to put the special request on the kitchen, and the kitchen don't mind. They're used to at least 10% of people
Yeah.
putting in meal requests now.
Yeah, what I did notice was you talked to me about omega-3s, it was into omegas, and about olive oil. It's really good for you, and avocado and that sort of thing. But you can overdo that as well, can't you?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Can you go
Yeah.
dig a bit deeper about
So,
that? Yeah.
what's really good about the olive oil, the polyphenols, well, actually, the whole olives they're really dense in polyphenols and fiber, whereas the olive oil is actually much lower than the whole food, because it takes 4,000 olives to create to make 1,000 1 liter
Wow.
of olive oil. And 6 olives is going to be, in terms of calories, because weight loss is also about energy balance. 4 or 5 olives is only going to be, say, 40 calories.
Yeah.
But half a litre of olive oil is 4,000 calories.
Wow.
So when we're actually cooking, we use a lot of calorie dense foods. I teach my clients what calorie density is. It's just a concept for understanding which foods are more beneficial for long-term weight loss. We don't want rapid weight loss. It does not work. We just want to be eating in a way that we feel full and satisfied, but we're actually getting everything we need at slightly less calories, that eventually the weight will come off us.
Okay, so going down the weight thing now. So I was going to go back to diabetes and fat, but we'll go to the weight way, because that's where it's going naturally.
That's where people are most interested.
Yeah, so the weight loss. So can you share with us why is the way that you're eating help with? Because I just noticed with John, I mean, for instance, it's going on diets is horrible. It's restrictive. It's people are hungry.
Yeah. It's all negative. It's all negative. Restriction.
It's restriction. It's awful.
Failure. It's just wrong.
And I know people that calorie deficits, all that calories.
Yeah.
So how does this work with your weight, like weight loss? Because John just naturally has lost weight.
Yeah, naturally. That's the key word,
Yeah.
right? So when people come to me, and a lot of ladies come to me because they're getting frustrated with that, just a few extra kilos around the middle, or maybe a lot of extra kilos, and they would like to lose that. So when they come and see me, I change that to thinking about, we want to optimize your health and your energy moving forward, and you living healthy.
Yes.
It's not about lifespan, it's about health span. We want to be as healthy as we can, so we've got the freedom to travel, to go walking, to keep up with our grandkids, to do what we love doing.
Yeah.
That's so important. And we learn to eat healthy. I teach people how to eat healthy, and the foods that we use, I use evidence-based science. We're using the Canada plate.
Yeah.
So we're eating a lot more plant foods. Doesn't mean to say you can't have your animal foods. We still have them there, but we're getting this proportion, these ratios, this balance better, more fiber. So the foods we tend to end up eating is a lot of foods that are really high in fiber and nutrients. They fill us up. They actually stimulating the hormones of feeling satisfied and full.
Yeah.
And so people stop going to the next, what can I have that's sweet now? Or, a lot of women are like, I'm going to do intermittent fasting. So they think, okay, I'll finish eating at night and I won't eat anything until, I don't know, 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning or even later. And then they get really hungry, and then what do they go for? They might go for like a muffin and a cup of milky coffee.
Yeah.
So what we do know is you get that nutrient-dense foods, high in fibre. You get that in the morning because we need that. All my women,
Instead of fasting. Yeah.
instead of fasting, you get that and you feel full and satisfied till your lunch. Lunch, you've got this beautiful, you've created these mix of foods that are ready to go. Your whole grain, your fruit, your vegetables are mixed in there in a beautiful big salad, or, it could be a bowl of soup. It's kind of not restrictive. It can be any sort of thing like that. And then you feel full and satisfied again. So then you go to dinner. And if you want a snack, you learn to snack on really healthy foods. Like, it's so easy to take an apple, which is so full of fiber and nutrients and polyphenols. Take an apple with you with 8 almonds. That is a wonderful snack. It's got full of fiber and nutrients, and as well as your healthy fats in there, so sustaining your energy.
So how do you feel about nuts then? Nuts.
How do I feel about nuts? I love nuts.
Nuts are great, yeah.
Yeah, nuts are fantastic. The king of nuts is the walnut, shaped like a brain.
Yeah.
I love that. It's shaped like a brain because it's high in omega-3s.
Right, okay.
So if you're eating nuts, the thing I try and make sure I do every day would be have my walnuts.
Yeah.
Okay, the science is there that nuts prolong your lifespan, your health. However, we need to be really aware. This is where this whole concept of calorie density. So although they're very healthy food, they're very high in calories.
Yeah.
So we do need to understand what is a good amount, a portion size. So like I said, between 6 to 8 almonds.
Yeah.
That's a portion. That's good of natural nuts. That's a good portion size.
That aren't all salty and deep fried.
It's not a bag of salted roasted nuts that you want to keep eating and eating and eating, which, by the way, the company have designed that way so that you want to eat and eat and eat.
Yeah, I know. Same with popcorn. I didn't realize, I haven't made the popcorn yet, but there's popcorn as well. It's like quite healthy. I didn't realize that. As long as you haven't got the butter and salt on it.
Exactly. It's you listen to so many experts talking, and they say it's not about so much about the food. Like, absolutely, we love sweet potatoes, right? I say sweet potato because I lived in Australia and they didn't use kumara. Kumara in New Zealand. Yeah. So we love kumara. Kumara is so good for you. And especially so when they go cold, they increase something in them called resistant starch, which is just makes your gut microbiome, the healthy bacteria, do a jig. They're so happy. So we love foods like that. And people go, but no, you can't. Or you can't have the potato. It's what you put with it. So it's when we deep fry it in fat, or we throw grated cheese all over it, sour cream or butter. Is it the potato or the sweet potato, the kumara?
I'm enjoying potatoes now.
Exactly. Beautiful little red potatoes steamed just by themselves. And then what you find is when you actually start to eat more and more of these plant-rich foods, your taste buds change.
Yeah.
Don't know whether the science is quite yet there linking it to gut microbiome, but there is some evidence there that your taste buds definitely change. So, and your I'm going to say cravings, but cravings is not quite the right word. But you know how you'll get that. I've got to have my veggies. I'm just like I'm craving my veggies. I want them.
Yeah.
Without the added butter, oils, salt.
Yeah.
Or sugar. Some people will actually add sugar to their vegetables.
Without
Without those things, and our taste buds really love those flavors. They adjust really quickly within the first week.
It's so funny because John had this cake the other day. Someone wanted him to have this cake, and he took a bite of it and spat it. He didn't want it because it was just so sweet. He wasn't used to it. It just tasted like gross. So if I eat something really, and something fatty, because I get that fatty taste in my mouth, I thought, ugh.
Yeah.
I noticed at a restaurant the other day, cafe, said, oh no, my mouth is just covered in fat film.
Yeah.
That's what happens, doesn't it?
Yeah.
From eating something fatty.
It doesn't matter if you think you're eating healthy when you're eating out. You just have to be aware that they use a lot of fats. And, extra virgin, you know how much extra virgin olive oil is. So they're not using extra virgin olive oil, I promise you. They're using really cheap, refined oils.
Unfortunately, yeah. So what about weight maintenance? So like someone from me, I think I'm at a good weight. So I don't want to lose weight, don't want to put weight on. So how do you manage to keep your weight the same, healthy weight?
You don't even have to think about it.
Oh, I love that. Isn't that? Gosh,
because
that'd be music to ladies' ears.
Well, exactly.
And men's.
If you're focused on eating, this appropriate fruits and vegetables, whole grains, and your legumes, predominantly those things, have a bit of have fish, have your sardines. When we eat dairy, I always encourage people to have dairy like a flavouring rather than it be, your half your plate.
Yeah.
So when you're eating this way, you don't even have to think about your weight, Kerry-Marie.
I love how free is that.
My clients, I don't even put them near a scale. I would never do that to anyone.
I love that.
It's just so wrong. It's not about standing on a scale. It's about how you feel as well. So when you start, you know what it's like. You start eating this way. You wake up in the morning and you have a great bowel movement, which is a beautiful thing.
Let's talk about it. Yeah.
Then you just feel lighter and energized, and comfortable around your waist.
Yeah.
And it just you will naturally lose the weight, get to where you should be, and you won't lose any more.
And your body will just take care of itself.
Yeah, exactly.
Wonderful.
So long as you're not eating, at a real calorie deficit, because you shouldn't be even thinking about that.
Don't even think about it. Chuck those scales away.
Exactly. No, you keep them because they're really handy for weighing bags when you go away on holiday.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. No, that's the only time I've ever used my scales is for weighing my bags.
They have got their uses in.
They do have their uses.
So can we just circle back for a minute to diabetes and the fat? Because a lot of people, because that's something I learned from you. I remember my father-in-law telling me about the fats with type 2 diabetes as well. So people just think it's just it's only about sugar.
Yeah.
So how can fat affect diabetes?
Gosh, that's a whole hour podcast, to be
Is
honest.
it?
It is.
Wow.
It's very deep, but like a high blood sugar that's a symptom. That's what we're seeing. So our body, our natural source of energy, preferred source of energy is glucose. We have to have it or we'll be dead. And our mechanism for that is when we eat food, we break it down, it gets into our bloodstream, into glucose. The glucose, the blood sugar, starts to rise. That is a signal to our body that we want to move that sugar. It needs to be in our cells, right? We want to get it in our cells. So it's a signal that, okay, we need something to bring that sugars into the cells where it's needed. All our muscle cells, our liver cells, every cell in our body needs sugar to function. So the insulin is produced from specific cells, and that's released, and that is basically like, I heard somebody call it like a shuttle bus.
Right.
It's like takes the sugar to the cell,
Right.
and it knocks on the door of the cell and says, I've got sugar here for you. Would you like it? And the insulin is important. It brings that sugar into the cell.
Okay.
So what happens is basically in that cell, there's special little gates that allow that sugar to get into the cell. What happens is when we're eating very high-fat diet, particularly high meaty saturated fat diets, those little fat globules, they go into the cell as well. So they start forming. That's what our cell wall's made up of, healthy fats. When these little fat globules start, because our cell wants energy, starts forming into these cells, you get kind of little pockets of them, so they're forming and they start blocking the cell channel, the little gate. They start, it's like sticking gum in a key lock.
Wow.
So when the insulin comes along, it starts getting harder and harder for the insulin to be able to open that gate, that channel, to bring the sugar in. That's what's called insulin resistance.
I see.
And then what happens is that the glucose in the bloodstream just builds up because you can't actually get that glucose into cells.
I see.
So that's where blood sugar's building up. And that's when we've got the blood tests that say, oh, you've got high blood sugar. It's not going into the cells like it should do.
I see.
And you feel tired because of that, because you think, actually your cell needs that energy. This is why people start feeling really tired when they've got pre-diabetes or type 2 diabetes. And so what we do, which is easy, it's the same mechanism, it's all interconnected with your cholesterol. So once you start eating these foods, particularly, your fruits, your vegetables, your legumes, your beans, your whole grains, these high fiber foods, that helps lower these fat levels in the cells. Suddenly the insulin can get into the cells without working properly and bring the blood sugars through.
Wonderful.
And so I had one of my clients the other day. He was so stoked. Him and his wife said, it seems so counterintuitive to be doing this, but they were eating a lot of these foods that they were told you have to avoid. Sweet potato, your kumara, your fruits, your vegetables. They started eating lots of these things, your whole grains, your beans. And his blood test results have come back, and beside his blood sugar results, which is now nearly normal, gone back down, they do another test for it. The doctor's actually written remarkable.
Wow, remarkable.
Yeah, remarkable.
Wow.
The change is remarkable. So he's actually reversing out his pre-diabetes.
And that's from seeing you.
Yeah, I know. I mean, that's where I get my kick. It's just from
this
this feedback of people and how freeing for that is, and how he loves feeling this way. And his next thing is he's going to get his cholesterol tested.
Great.
And unless he's got the gene for high cholesterol, which is not very often, I would say his cholesterol will have dropped so much.
And that helps not only his quality, his life, his children, his whole family, because he's going to keep living longer.
Yeah.
His children, his grandchildren.
Yeah,
It's amazing.
Actually, his son eats really, really healthy. So when his son goes to visit them now, they love it. She said, the wife said, we only have to cook one meal now, and we all love it.
Yeah.
And it's kind of really exciting. And he's avoided taking his medications, his metformin for his diabetes, and taking his statins. So he's a happy man. And your inflammation, just naturally people will start reporting, I'm not getting the achy joints and things anymore.
Oh, wonderful. I can't wait to John to see this.
Inflammation.
So
goes
you've
down.
been a life changer for us and other people, and got a lot of hope. So how can people get hold of you, Jackie?
Okay, so they can come to me through my website. My name is Jackie, spelled Jacqui, and Kraft with a K, like Kraft cheese, Kraft. So if you Google Jackie Kraft, you'll see my website, Jackie Kraft Nutrition. My contact details are on there. They can either email me or phone me direct. I love to talk to people.
You gave us like a 15-minute free consultation.
Yeah, you can request a free 15-minute call at a certain time, or you can just call me and I'll return your call. So my clients are my passion.
Yeah.
And yes, so that's the easiest way to, and you can see what I'm offering there too.
Yeah, it's wonderful. Good value for money as well. So, as you know, this podcast series is called Spiritual Truths.
Yes.
So what can I ask you? What is your spiritual truth?
My spiritual truth. And so my spiritual truth is very much that I'm a spirit and energy spirit in a body. That we're all connected. We're all divine creations, unique creations of a higher source, a high energy source, whatever people want to call it. They can call it God, they can call it, Buddha, Allah, whatever. It does not matter. And so for me, that connection into that source is really important for me. I do that every day. I have to
Beautiful.
meditate every day.
Yeah, because of mind, body, and soul, aren't we?
Yeah.
And then earlier, and when you first arrived, and I felt it when we first started the podcast, my head was going, and I felt that your dad was around me. Very much love you, and he really believes in spirit. I don't know.
Yes.
Very
He
spiritual.
was.
Very. Cause
Yeah.
he said to me, very spiritual.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dad was.
Oh, there we are.
He was the one who actually took me to church.
Oh, really?
Not my mother.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just said he's very spiritual. He's really good up here. And I think one day he'll welcome you, but not now, of course. But he said
Yeah.
one day I'll be there.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're looking at photos at the moment as well, because he mentions about the photos. Looking at pictures of photos at the moment.
Yeah. Yeah.
Have been.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and also because of where we are, this area. So
Yeah.
my dad is really special for me. So,
Interesting. And he mentioned the dog. So he's got
Yeah.
the dog.
yeah. My dog, my special dog.
So you and the dog are very close.
Very.
Yeah.
So I often in my meditations, I'll bring forth my dad, my nan, and my dog and
And
the
I
cat.
mentioned in the water, so I think that with your dad loved the water, and
Yeah.
water's his home.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
water's my home, once acknowledge it, and the dog Star
Yep.
is my
Yeah.
yeah. And the dog wants to, he doesn't feel in a cage anymore. Yeah, he said it's beautiful. So it was a male dog. Is that
Yeah,
right?
he's a male dog.
And he said he's no longer in a cage anymore. So it must have felt quite sort of,
So he was a rescue.
no longer in a cage anymore. There we
Yeah,
are.
he was a rescue.
So you gave
and
him hope. Yeah.
he was just the most beautiful soul.
Yeah.
He really
wow.
really important in my life at that time.
Yeah.
And so I've always felt that that dad was looking after Star, and both of them were there for each other. And I've just been walking Orewa Beach this morning and talking about the dog, and like
beautiful.
whenever I'm near Orewa Beach, I always think of my father and the dog.
Oh, how lovely. I'm just going to read you a card as well. And I've got number 10. So 10's very much quite solid, and it's about new beginnings.
Nice. Are you
And,
feeling this?
And they said to me, you're an old soul and you're good at teaching, but new beginnings, which is like next year we're going into 1 year, which is great. And they said no longer a cross for you. No longer a cross for you. So no longer a cross for you to bear.
Yeah, nice.
It's nice, isn't it?
I really like
And
this.
better choices is what I'm getting.
Yep.
So what they've said to me, because I feel quite a busy lady, but like me, so I've got for you, no need to rush. I feel quite emotional reading that as well. I feel a grandmother as well.
Oh, yeah, that's true. My nan.
Oh, she loves you, eh?
Yeah, my nan and my dad especially are really like
goodness.
the
I
same
say
new
never give up.
beginnings.
I say never give up. Oh,
Oh, that's
I'm
lovely.
like emotional.
I like knowing
No
that.
need to rush. Life's not a race. Take your time. Learn to pace. There is no law that you need to do more. Life is not always a test. Relax and unwind. Time to rest.
I love it.
Yeah, and they also talked about healing before as well.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
It's definitely been a healing journey for
Yeah,
me. In the
and
last...
they also talked about like let the sun shine on you like never before. Isn't that beautiful? Let the sun shine on never before.
Love it. Love it.
And I also feel that I keep getting a name. I'll mention it later. And I think they may come through your dreams as well. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because they like to prove themselves. You talk about the evidence. So it'd be interesting if you have to let me know if they could come into a dream scene.
Oh, I'd like to. I'm looking forward to hearing that name.
Yeah, yeah. But I think as you must have siblings. I think, but you and your dad were very close.
Yeah.
You were his favourite.
I wish my brother was definitely my mother's favourite. I definitely. It's funny, isn't it? It's sort of like now I do a lot of meditation. I really wish that I'd been able to tell him that I loved him and spend more time with him.
He knows that you're genuine.
Yeah. That's I really believe, and I definitely can connect with him on the other side.
Yeah.
I connect with past over loved ones. I definitely feel that close connection.
Yeah. So I think he's very happy about what you're doing, encourages you. So thank you so much for coming and giving all your beautiful information.
Thank you.
It's been a real joy, sweetheart.
I know.
Yeah.
I love getting together with you.
Yeah,
It's,
awesome.
Talking about, we have so much in common. It's both of our passions. We're both really important in our lives.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Kerry-Marie.
You're welcome.